everyone. I'm filming this at a public park right now, so this is a bit out of my comfort zone, but you know what, we're here, so we're just doing it. Today we're going to be talking about how the Trump administration is currently reducing pathways to citizenship, but they're giving law enforcement more jurisdiction to target people. So let's get into it, because don't we all want to give people, practical access to citizenship while also protecting our national security? Well, right now, the Trump administration is releasing legislation, executive orders, to override previous laws that encourage safe immigration into the United States. And before anybody accuses me of using ChatGPT, I'm reading off of my own personal report through many sources that I've done research on. According to the White House, Executive Orders 1399-3, 14010, 14011, and 14012 have been revoked. All of these executive orders made the immigration process safer and easier on everyone. All law enforcement in the United States have been given the executive order to target all undocumented immigrants, including people with pending green card status, under the guise of fighting terror, despite undocumented immigrants making up less than 7% of the U.S. population. According to the American Immigration Council, immigration, even undocumented, actually lowers crime rates, according to compared statistics from 1980 to 2022. This new enforcement requires people to travel back to their home countries to apply for citizenship status, which, according to officials, will cause delays and further setbacks to the already overwhelmed system. The Trump administration is leaving no room for public scrutiny either, and it continuously urges every state to comply, or specifically, sanctuary states will face federal prosecution. This regime is denying funding to any organizations who assist people without legal status, indirectly accusing all undocumented people of being dangerous, violent criminals, or at the very least, a threat to our country, including students and intellectual prodigies here in the States for work-related purposes. And the Trump regime states that education and work are not good reasons to obtain a green card. So if those aren't good enough reasons to at least apply for a green card, what is? The regime is adamant on making it easier for law enforcement to racially profile and deport people without a criminal history, sometimes to countries they're not even from, as we learned from the case of Abrego Garcia, or hold them in detention centers. As we've seen in some cases, for people with or without legal status, that means indefinitely. According to the State of Surveillance, in 2025, 32 people were reported to have died in ICE detention, and at least 6 were reported to have died in ICE detention at the start of 2026, almost all due to medical negligence. These kidnappings are happening to citizens and non-citizens alike, with no clarity from the Trump administration on plans to fix these errors and hold ICE agents guilty accountable. And then I'm going to put a list of the names of everyone who was reported to have died in ICE detention centers from 2025 to the beginning of 2026. Because I think that we need to humanize immigrants, because even just the language of calling an immigrant an illegal alien is extremely dehumanizing, and it's demonizing to people who are just coming here to live their lives. The Trump regime's changes to previous legislation only make it easier for law enforcement to target whoever they want. These executive orders focus heavily on giving law enforcement more jurisdiction over the lives of citizens and non-citizens, while reducing legal pathways of obtaining citizenship, rather than creating practical avenues of entry into and gaining legal status in the United States, as well as adhering adequate data collection through communication with allied countries and sufficient background checks and legislation changes to prevent error. And as we've learned from multiple sources, the data coming from the White House, DHS, and ICE is inconsistent and contradictory, not only to itself, but to the evidence independent media is tracking. Continue to stay informed, do what you can to educate yourself, do what you can to be the change, and stop listening to sources that cannot be trusted because they're inconsistent, or they're found to be liable for crimes that we won't speak on in this video. But Yeah, I hope this video helped educate you a little bit. All of my sources will be linked in the description below, so you can go check them out, do your own research, and educate yourself. Peace and love.